Okay. So anyway, I just logged in because I wanted to check. I just pretty much go home like maybe 10 minutes ago or something like that. Maybe yeah, 15 minutes. And well, I started watching price around fourth bar, which is basically 20 minutes in the session. Yeah. What was the scene? Basically on NQ, I noticed that there was a outside gap down, and the bar upside was pretty much not the strongest and somewhat undecisive. So what did I do? It is quite simple. I noticed, well, first bar, somewhat of a failure to the outside, not even pretty much trade at all, pretty much onto the gap, just to the first lower quadrant, which is this one.
Order filled.
Then after that, I noticed, well, this strong close here. Like I said, I came to the market here in the fourth bar, so I didn't see none of that. I'm just basically putting my thoughts on. And after that, this next bar here, I waited because this close of this fourth bar wasn't the best here. So I waited for this fifth bar to come back, and then when it took the high, I actually shorted the high of this previous bar because it's still close below, just to see what would the market, how the market will behave, and so forth. So after that, I noticed that it was quickly rejecting down. So in this same bar, after I noticed I was trading lower, 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 I executed again two contracts here. So I basically I added up to the trade, and as I just saw, when this bar retested again, this previous range, and then it traded lower, breaking its own low. So that's actually when I entered again. Why am I doing this? Because I do want to see how price overall just behaves, and also I'm also working into identifying things on my behavior and the things I'm doing because I'm trading, I would say, not so clean. I feel there is some pressure somehow. I believe it has something to do with the money situation overall in my life and also my relationship with money based on maybe culture or how I grew up and everything. And I think this is somewhat hitting me because it doesn't feel like it is expensive, for example, when I buy an account or something. Because well, luckily I have overall a decent life and I'm making decent money and all stuff. But that doesn't mean anything. My point is I want to understand why this happened. Why is that behavior making me somewhat fail? Why
Order
sometimes
filled.
in my trading I'm losing myself? This is the most important part. I want to understand that because I believe that there is a lot of potential behind that for me and for my life. Not just for the fact of the money. It's also for the fact of like I'm trying to understand myself better, and embrace those things. And well, I accept that we are pretty much light and shadow as a human being. So like this is a good example, not because the trade is a winner, but it was simply like straightforward trade. Like, yes, the close is not the best, but the market is failing to the upside, trading lower, closing strongly down here, and then breaking the lows here, closing below the low, and also retesting, which is normal as well. This structure, this previous structure here, previous, and the previous bar high, which is also a good entry short, which is actually what I did. So my question to myself is, why can't I just do similar things? And well, stick to these things and also accept when they just don't work because of course they're not always gonna work. Like for example, yesterday, based on this piece of presentation here, like yeah, initially I was bullish, fair enough, it fell and it started failing here, even though I was aiming for the highs here, fair enough, okay. But the point is, here I remember myself saying, okay, this might be an exception, so it might go lower to these lows here, and it exactly did that. So my point is, yeah, this is not the cleanest probably to take a trade, especially in this 5 minute time frame, fair enough. But what can I stick to something and just let things be? That's the problem. I noticed that not just I've been dropping so much money into profits. Like most of the time, for example, let's say when I blew an account or when I have like 1,000 or 800, 600 in drawdown or 1.3k, I'm most of the time leaving more money than what I had in drawdown. Meaning it makes no sense. Or either I'm aiming too far, which is could be a possibility, which also I have to go into study. Or I don't know. I'm just mismatching my trades, and I need to figure it out a way to manage them so it will work better for me. That's a good point. So I will, like I said before, I do have a lot of a lot of things to go through. I have work piling up, and I'm actually looking forward to go through it. So yeah, let's see what happens. I just want to calm down. I know that the basically overall the struggle is life. Basically, life is that. So I'm not truly scared about anything in that sense. But with that said, I want to get better. I want to get myself to a position where I'm comfortable with what I'm doing, that I trust fully what I'm doing, and also that I can exploit my edge because I know I have it. I just need to get to the point where I stick to my edge, and then things will start changing. But so far, I think I have a lot to do with the personal analysis, and all these things. For example, even this is a good example. Yes, of course, I thought the price might trade lower. I thought about this low earlier. I didn't tag there. So this, for example, initially is like 800 whatever plus rate, which might end up in break even. Okay, fair enough, but I need to be consistent with this, regardless of, for example, this rate being a break even or a profit here. I need to be good with that, and that's exactly which I think somewhat is being a problem for me. So yeah, with that said, I'm just gonna keep watching. I'm gonna keep learning and do my best to tackle myself to try to get better and yeah, just get to the doing part of life because I mean I'm not gonna lie to myself. It is frustrating. It is really frustrating when things are for whatever reason not working, and it's hard to somewhat see and recognize that not everything is bright, and most of the failures, most of the things that are happening is basically on me. Like it's nobody else. It's nothing to do
Order
with it's
filled.
nothing to do with the market. It's nothing to do with anything. It's just me, and this is why it's so hard. So yeah, I'm gonna let it be. I'm gonna continue learning. I'm gonna get to see what this session is going to do, and besides that, I'm gonna rest and enjoy my weekend, and let's see what happens in the future. Well, nothing much to say. I took a bunch of losses here. This is demo, by the way. This is not a new account, so this is just the same account that I can continue trading on demo if I want to. So, I think I took a good continuation here. It wouldn't continue, so I gotta stop that break even somewhere here. Uh, yeah, then I noticed here there was a good momentum after the price tag here, this level, this consolidation here. And it was pretty much like I said in lab, seems to be that I was setting up a trap to the upside. So
Order filled.
bar came strongly down, and then it would just close down here, which was good. And after that, this bar failed. Then this bar here again, it fell to the upside, so it traded lower. So I actually shorted here a couple of times when it broke its own low. And then now there is an A plus happening, which is the inside bar. Even though this is overall consolidating, so it might not trade lower. So yeah, but let's see. Anyway, so I think there should be continuation to the downside. If there is, what I'm actually aiming for is not just these lows were taken here, here in this bar. So that's actually when after that the momentum picked up here. So these two bars plus this down bear bar that actually went high all the way and then came all the way down. So this happened after these lows were taken. So that's the point is since I see that this is failing to the upside and now it's kind of trending lower with an inside bar here, I believe that if this bar is to trade lower and close below this range here, the price is probably going to tank further. It could go all the way to this structure here that is need to be retested. So for example, I could definitely get out there, something like that. Or I was thinking that maybe this lower here. But yeah, price seems to be feeling comfortable on this day, then on this area. This that is pretty much value area from 9 of March. Let's see. It could definitely head lower also for the lows, but I don't know if it is to get there. I would definitely want to see price closing below this range here, and then maybe there would be a further continuation to this down area here. So let's see. I don't know if it's gonna get there eventually, but yeah, it was good. I had some drawdown, then now I recovered in that drawdown. Gold was actually good. I took a couple of losses in break-even trades in gold. It was same similar, actually not the same, but similar to Nasdaq. The difference is the Nasdaq opened here. Now let me actually, do I have this? Let me go back to regular because it's better to orientation. Yes. So Nasdaq opened here, fail, and that's actually here. And the fourth bar, that's actually when I started to pretty much be short, and that's actually what price is overall doing. One thing that I notice that is happening to me is that I'm not patient enough for whatever reason. That's not the point now. The point is I'm not patient enough with my trades. and that's why most of them either don't work, end up in losing trades, or end up in break-even trades, to then me trying to chase price because at the end I probably was on the right side of the market. So one thing that I'm thinking that I need to get to work on is maybe see it and forget trades, which is of course could be considered somewhat of a mistaken managing of the trades. But I mean, in a sense, it just makes sense. I mean, point is, I do need to start managing trades in a way that if I am to be correct, let's say, or be on the right side of the market, because at the end of the day, I don't trade to be right, I trade to make money. So let's say I am to be right or on this right side of the market. For example, like now is downside. I should let my trade be and allow it to breathe and play it out because at the end of the day, well, it's an intraday trade. So I think me choking price is definitely not helping me at all. Yes, in a way, it is helping me to avoid losses, which is basically a break-even trade. It's not a loss trade, especially if you're covering fees and everything. But the thing is, I've seen a bunch of times where those break-even trades were actually good trades overall. So meaning maybe I should somewhat play more with the structure. Let's say, for example, like here, if I was to be more patient, I would have want to see price closing below here. So for example, this trade, it is possible based on this rejection and these bars here, that price continue to range around here, regardless of if it drops later, or for example, if it drops after this previous bar high or something, or even from now. The point is, it would make sense for me, for example, let's say if I have my risk somewhere here, for example, imagine that this is a swing high. So I would wait for the price to confirm my initial idea, which is trade lower, and then close below, closing, forming new structure. I would say new leg. So let me see actually if I can do this with this thing here. For example, like here, if I was to, for example, I'm entering here, so if price was to do this, then come up, down, and then come here. So price closing here, this would be, for example, like a good thing for me because this is basically a new leg. So if I was to wait for this leg, and then when this leg is formed, then I could then, for example, like remove my risk. But so far, that's something that I need to work on. And yeah, I mean, I think it's good that I'm realizing those things. Of course, that's part of my learning as well. But so far, it doesn't seem to be going on my side. So let's see how I engage those things in the future. But definitely, I'm looking forward to get better. But right now, what I'm looking forward the most is to rest, to get myself straight because I also feel like I'm burning out when it comes to not just the things that I'm doing at home, but my work overall. Like working for somebody else is still ticking, like, is bothering my head. But no more, no, not just that. The thing is, of course, like we all know how the system is, and I mean, it's something that we have to somewhat accept and take. Regardless of that, I mean, this feeling bothers me a lot, which is I'm feeling used. I know I'm a specialist. I know that I'm good at what I do, and it's way above average. I don't know what's the point, what's the reason, if it is because how I look, or maybe people don't like how I am, or whatever. That's okay. But I always believe that when it comes to work overall, your work should talk for yourself, not nothing else. So me knowing the value I have, or I believe I have, I think that should be enough for any company to value the way I mean that should be valued. But it seems that that's not how it works. Definitely, of course, like I'm not a kid anymore, so I understand those things. But the thing is, it sucks to be at this point in my life, like where you know that you deserve better, you're trying to do better overall in your life, and then well, you find that the system is pretty much rigged against you, and you have to deal with it, which is also okay. But anyway, back to the topic. I look forward to just to get better, to get to the point where I'm consistent and well, I stick to things. And like I said, I didn't follow up when I was saying that I wanted to trade less. I actually haven't been traded as low as I wish I will. But anyway, that's also part of developing itself. So that's what I need to do next, and I will continue to work on that way. So let's see. And well, actually, one thing I got carried on, so I just kept talking. But One thing I forgot to mention on gold, it was here. I noticed that price would take this daily low here, ITH with this retest, and then momentum similar to Nasdaq fell up. I got stop out somewhere here on break even and maybe a loss, I can remember. And then I noticed this price trade higher, fail here, then inside bar, broke the low I actually bought here, and then again price trade nicely up, then it fell, and then it came back down here. So here, when this uh, took the high of this inside bar, let me see, it was 169.6, and the high of this bar 169.7. So yeah, I did by pretty much 1 point, and then closed lower strongly. I shorted this bar here. That's when I started shorting earlier. Then, well, it wasn't the best bar here. Then an inside bar, and again I added on the inside bar short here and this low here. Again, price hesitated here. It closed the gap here with this prior open on Monday here. Sorry, close, and then another inside bar here. And again, it traded higher, took the highs of this bar here, and then traded lower. I added here, and then another inside bar, which is fail here, took the high, closed lower, and then it took the high again, and then start tanking. So I actually sold the market again here. I added like wow, somewhat not blindly, but with some good structure. So I wanted to see first of all the gap being filled of this prior close that it was here, and then after it failed to the upside and trail lower, I wanted to see then this overnight range that I had and the retest of this structure here being retested, and it's pretty much what I did. And I also had in mind that the price will trade lower to this day value area, which is around here at the level of 51117. And yeah, it pretty much got there, so it was good. I exited my trade here as I saw earlier in the overnight low. So yeah, I'm getting rid of that. I'm gonna just let this be for today. I'm gonna rest and continue with my NQ trade, which I'm gonna keep it open and let's see what happens from there. For example, now there is another decent A plus setup, which is another inside bar here. This one close below. Now it's trading lower, like somewhat slowly, but it's still going the way. And this inside bar, it will be nice to see first of all this broken of the break of the low, which it did now, and I would like to see now stacking to the downside the momentum. So yeah, I believe there should be more, but let's see. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna let it be for now, and I'm gonna let it hit somewhere like this retest here and here. So what I'm gonna do here, for example, is I'm gonna take, let's say, I have like 20 contracts. So I'm gonna buy, say, 15. If it gets to this high, I'm gonna exit most of my position there. And let's see, I'm gonna wait. Either break even trade or whatever it does from here, or it's gonna tank and see if it goes there. Gold so far seems to fail on the inside bar high. So let's see if there could be some big retracement and maybe to continue dropping or something. But so far, I'm gonna be out of it for now.